Boop, boop. So what's up, guys? It is almost Valentine's Day, and I have always been the kind of person who, you know, I don't like to hate people. I can. I can definitely do it, and I can do it well, but I don't like to hate people. And I've always, whenever I've dated somebody, I've always wanted them to do well in life. Like, I've never wanted them to really be you know, sad or have a bad life or anything after having dated them. So last year I decided I was going to start a talk show. Maybe you guys saw the first episode or so, called Life Unraveled, and I was going to kind of just try and figure life out. 2020 was a weird year. Last year was a weird year, but I really enjoyed last year. So I decided that I was going to meet up with people that I wanted to talk to and see still. And so here's the thing. I don't, like, I've watched a lot of things about people seeing their ex again, and you know, obviously I've seen TV and how people react to if an ex gets in touch with them or if you see them out in the world, and it's like, I don't know, people don't die. Like, generally speaking, you know, I'm sorry if this has happened to you though, but generally speaking, they still go on living their lives after you break up, and it's not a big deal. And so to me, I've always thought, I think because I've grown up with a single mom, and just like, she's always been so kind and just totally normal about dating people and breaking up with people and whatever. It's not been a big deal. I always thought that you kind of just, you stay friends and you wish each other well, and you know, hopefully kind of stay in contact a little bit so that you can just see how each other's lives progress. And that's what I've always thought of it as. But you know, TV kind of portrays it as like, you're crazy. If you ever want to see your ex, you're insane. And you know, if you run into them, you should hide. You should never ever see your ex. You should never talk to them ever again in your life once you've broken up. And I've talked to other people about this too, who believe that, which, you know, to each their own. No shade if you feel that way, but I didn't. So I got in touch with my ex, and if you guys want to see what happened, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I don't know, let me just take you guys along with me, because if you guys are ever thinking that you might want to meet up with your ex, then check it out. Yeah, we're ready.
I don't know, like I was just like,
Yeah, you know, these
hello
people
people.
here.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Austin Troyer, you know, resident of Long Beach. I work for Downtown Long Beach Alliance as the economic development and policy manager. And I get to join here today on this lovely couch in this lovely space.
Yes, we have Austin here today. If you haven't noticed, he is our special guest. Because we know each other from way back when. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yes. How do we know each other?
Actually, I don't know. I had saw an ad that I had posted looking for someone special, and someone else had posted an ad looking for someone special. And then we both said that we like pina coladas, and then there's this whole thing, and then, yeah. No, high school. You know, towards the end of high school, and then ever since then, college, and now here we are.
Yes, here we are.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we dated, so that would be the piece. Yeah. We dated. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's how we know each other, and he's here today to tell us why he's so.
Ooh, it's a good question. I mean, look at her. Look at her. So many great things.
So many reasons. What? My milkshake brings all the boys to God.
I thought it was the 1, 2 step.
That too. So many.
All the goodies?
Things. All the goodies.
Yeah.
My goodies.
Yeah. Who's that?
Not my goodies. This is how this is gonna go.
I can tell. Okay.
So now that you know where we met and everything, we're gonna chat a little bit about our history and see how much we both remember, and if we remember it the same, or if we remember it differently.
Actually, I didn't know.
Did you know? Okay.
I knew there was going to be a quit. It was like, I was not aware that.
By the way, this is part of it.
Yeah. I got it. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
All right.
I know.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
How did we know each other? Like, how did we remember?
So we both have a mutual friend, Jordan, who I went to high school with. We did not go to high school together. Jordan showed me a photo of you.
Did she?
Yeah. And so she was like, hey, this is my friend Sierra, like, you should probably talk to her, but knowing me, I'm a weird person, an oddball, so don't know how well that worked out.
Worked out well. Okay.
We did. But it was her. She was the one who kind of like brought us together. And that's kind of where my memory fades on the exact encounter. So I think there was a couple of instances, but I don't remember what the first one is.
I also.
See?
It's the same, yeah. But I do remember Jordan was the one.
Yeah.
She also told me like, hey, like you should meet this guy. Like, go ahead. And I was like, I don't want to. It's like, that's not my thing. I don't want to do that. And she's like, no. He's weird like you. It'll be fine. Yeah. But I do remember that either she called you or she had me call you or something like that. And I was like, okay, like, what are you doing? It was like one of those calls. You're like, I'm skateboarding. And I'm like,
oh, cool.
right.
Yeah,
sure. Nice. And that it was so awkward. It was literally like this, like,
yeah.
Okay,
It's like, so nice to meet you. Bye.
That's what I remember, like, being how we met, basically. I do remember like the first time that I remember you, but I don't know if that was actually the first time.
Yeah. So I remember two different instances. One was like a meetup at Lakewood Mall. The second one was a beach. But I don't think those were probably the first time at that point. It may have just been like a hangout. But and so we all met up at the mall. And so we probably were already dating at this point, because this sounds like it was a double date in my mind now that I'm thinking about it, but not actually the first time we met. So sounds like neither one of us can remember the first time we actually met here.
I'm like, the one that I remember was we went to 2nd Street. To one of the restaurants on 2nd Street, and
I think we went to Sophie. I think we went to Main Street. Yeah, we went to Main Street because you were walking on the outside of the street when we were walking up the street. We were walking on the outside, so the space closest to the side or to the gutter, right? And I remember like walking around and like kind of corralling you in, and then you were like, we were holding hands at the time, and then came across this pole. And you told me not to like.
What the pole?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I had to like come back around. Yeah.
Oh my god. I literally forgot. Actually, you just mentioned it right now. How weird I was about that splitting your pole thing. Like, it's so neurotic about it.
Now it's like crammed into my mind. So I'm like, you can't split the pole. I'm like neurotic about it now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, thank you for bringing that Yeah.
Share my neuroses, it's so fun. Because I was like, I remember just being in the restaurant, and I think my birthday had like just happened or something. It was like fairly recent around there. And you gave me a little necklace with a microphone on it. It was Juicy Couture. It's so cute. I still have it.
Really?
Yeah.
You can burn it like in an effigy or something like that.
It's in a box, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Because I was like, oh, and I think you told me something, like when you gave it to me, you were like, yeah, I heard you like to sing, and so I got you this with like a little microphone on it, and I was just like, oh, how cute! Like, I like this.
So great. No, so that was a Jordan thing, because I had asked her, I was like, oh, no, she said it was your birthday. I said, okay, well, let me go find a gift. And I'm not great at gift giving.
I disagree.
But that was only because she'd given me like some type of guidance. Yeah,
see? But that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're always supposed to
follow up with friends and say, yeah.
So, cause
you never know.
Yeah, you never know, and they know them the best at that point.
Yeah.
Until you're like married or dating or whatever. Like, they know them already.
Yeah.
So you did the right thing, and you got the right thing, and now it's in a box in my house. We've got our first.
Yeah, by the way.
How So I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, yeah.
This is something that since you took my neuroses
Yeah.
what I took from that was you were the most fun person I've ever had.
I have no words for that because that is very surprising.
Is it
I
really?
don't think I'm that fun. I think I'm like.
Really?
So like I have one specific memory like really ingrained in my head,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like horrible for it. So that's why I'm like,
Oh.
I don't think I'm that fun. So, but go ahead, hype me up, let me know, and if you want to talk about that memory, we can do that.
I kind of want to talk about that memory though. You want to let's get that out of the way so that I can like.
Yeah. Okay, so this was what? Freshman year of college for me, and I joined the fraternity, right? And I invited you to our forum. And I had just started, yeah, well, this was the first forum that I invited you to.
Uh-huh.
And so I just started a job at Public Uptrend.
Uh-huh.
And I was going through training.
Uh-huh.
And
You were late.
yes, I was not just
You were
like,
late.
you see, yeah. Not just like a few minutes late.
No,
but
it was like I was sitting there and like I literally forgot about that. And you said something when you came in here and you said late again and I was like, what is he talking about?
there you go.
Now I get it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was kind of a dick like
Yeah,
level of late.
yeah. I mean, I was at least a good hour and a half, if not 2 hours late.
Wasn't it good and bad?
We talked about it a little bit,
Mhm.
and I think we got to a point where like, yes, I should have done better at the beginning, like what was gonna happen. But we were like, okay, well, let's try to recover the rest of the night if we can.
Which I think is really mature.
And for 18, 19-year-old people, yeah, that was really mature.
Oh, weird. Good for us.
I will say, like, and we can talk about this a little bit more, but like just throughout the relationship, I think you pushed me to be a lot more introspective in how I try to handle another person, right? Like how I talk to that person, how I communicate with them. I don't know, like not being on your own, but like obviously being single allows you to be a lot more selfish and not care about anybody else. And when you get into a relationship, that's something that you have to learn not to do or not to be. Like be empathetic to them, understand where they're coming from, who they are, how you want to convey whatever it is. So there were a lot of learning points that I think we're doing that I appreciate. Sorry, maybe they were
a little dramatic.
yeah, like that one.
I'm really happy about that. It was the same for me also, as well. I mean, and to have that relationship and have it, I feel like being kind of grown up and also being really, I want to say normal, but it wasn't even like being normal, it was just like being just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like being yourself, being authentic, I guess, in that relationship. It's like leaving it and then going into other ones and being like, having to learn. I don't know, like you learn kind of like not the good things. Like that, I felt like I learned a lot of good things with this one, and then the other one that I learned stuff that I didn't need to know and shouldn't necessarily have learned. So I'm very grateful for that experience. And really it kind of really set the bar. Like, here we go. This is how you should react. Like, this is how you should communicate. This is how things should go. So, yeah, it's the thing to take away.
Yeah, I want to hear how it's fun boyfriend.
Yeah, you were a fun boyfriend.
How?
So like you said, like I made you, I guess, more introspective, but you made me more like, not extroverted, but like put in situations that I normally would put myself in. Like I was not in a sorority or anything like that, but through knowing you, we went to the fraternity parties, like we went to all these like different little events and stuff. It's like, oh my god, this is so much fun, and it was just always a good time. You were always out there with everybody else, like I was your girlfriend at the time, but at the same time, I didn't feel like I was just kind of there and like left in a corner. Like most people can do that, like, oh, we'll come to my thing and I'm just gonna go talk to music, really quick, whatever. Like it was always inclusive, but at the same time not overbearing to where I felt supported.
Yeah.
I was able to meet so many people. Like everybody in your frat was like, I don't know, I think the coolest people that just like ever.
Okay.
Yeah, even after we broke up, I hung out with them. so that I have you to thank for that, for like making me
I don't know, just more, just, you know, just putting yourself out there in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit more. And,
Yeah.
just growing up, I guess, a little bit. So, it's nice. It's very nice. So you were
Random thought. Do you remember the flower in the nose thing? That's how you like. Yeah.
Tell me about it. I have a bad memory, apparently. I thought I had a really good memory.
So, I'm kind of bad at either one, reading signals, especially early on, and then two, like making the first one.
Oh god, yeah.
You took a flower and you put it on your nose, and that like you were trying to get me to like, come on now, like dude, just.
Damn! Look, I'm good!
Yeah. So you put this like flower in your nose, and I forget like exactly what you said, but you're like, yeah, you know, like you like it's good luck or something like that. Like if you like touch the nose with a flower, whatever that.
That's what I'm like.
You know, well, when you get to do like don't the whole thing, like now my superstition's like going up. So
That
I'm
was
like,
real.
okay.
That was real.
That's it.
Yeah.
But either way, so that's what happened. So that's how the first move happened. That you like were like, come on, let's get this rolling. And then, yeah.
I remember I went to the movies one time. You want to see People Robinson? That Disney movie?
Yeah.
And I remember it was like it was opposite too. Like I was on that side and we were here. And I just remember thinking like, okay, we're just sitting here, like we're watching this cartoon, and alright.
This is bad.
Yeah. I don't know, but you were super engrossed, I guess, in the movie or something. And I'm like, okay, surely
Something's gonna happen.
And nothing's happening. I think we're like halfway through the movie or something, so I'm just like, and you were like, seriously? And I'm just like, it's the most like cliche thing I think you could ever do. So I was like, I think this was it.
Yeah, see, another way of helping you to be a little bit more out there. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I believe it on this.
It was more so like, okay, like, well, I guess,
So, here we go.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good stuff about relationships we talked about so far.
Yeah.
What was the one thing that you, well actually, before we go into it,
Yeah.
how did we break up?
Ooh, we broke up twice.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
I was so dramatic.
The first time was probably, I think, 3 months into, because I think in total we probably dated 4 or 5 months.
I think that's about right.
And
Maybe 6.
Yeah.
6.
Let's, you know, a good half a year, right? So we broke up, I think 3 months in, and that was me.
Okay.
I brought that up. And it was like a good week's time frame. Like we had a talk, and then we kind of came back around after that week, and then had another talk. But it was me that initiated the breakup.
What was it? What happened?
It was more me kind of growing distant from you.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
And then, you know, just not feeling like I was still present in the relationship.
What happened the second time?
So the second time, I thought we met up at Wilson. Not Wilson. No, we didn't meet up at Wilson. I was driving on 7th Street. We were on the phone. We were talking. Oh, no, it wasn't at Wilson. It was over at your apartment, over at the traffic circle. And we like took a walk around. And, like we were like doing like laps. And it's not like this place is huge, but I mean like there's a good distance, but it's not like it's huge. So we met up there, and we were just having like this full-on discussion. And basically like at the end, I want to say I want to break up.
Negative.
No.
Negative.
What happened?
I remember this because.
Damn. Wow. You were like waiting for that. You're like, okay. Where's he going with this? This Wilson thing doesn't make sense. Like, okay. Well, at least I got to the right location.
You got to the right location, and I think that in the beginning you were right too, because I think you were talking about the phone like throughout the day, being like, okay, trying to discuss whatever I guess what was going on.
Yeah.
And I think it was that I think it was the same situation. I think it was like you were kind of busy and like I wasn't really into that at that point. It's like, okay, you are busy. What's the point? So we were talking about that, and then eventually came to my house. I totally forgot that we had been walking around the whole complex like that time. The whole complex.
Yeah.
And eventually we went back up to my house, and I think I was just like, okay, well, like this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna get it. And as soon as I was like, okay, we should just break up, you were like, no, you are not gonna break up with me. I remember you said this, because you were like, you are not gonna break up with me. You said, you will break up with many guys after this. He said, but you are not gonna break up with me.
What?
Yes, we're not, like, you're not gonna be the one to break up with me. Basically.
Oh my God.
I was like, what? Okay, what? And you were like, this is mutual. This is mutual. And I was like, all right, sure.
Clearly it was dramatic. Clearly, there's a reason for that. Oh my God.
It was so good though.
That's so cringy. So cringy.
Like, I always remember that. You were just like, no, you are not gonna break up with me. You will break up, you will have tons of other guys to break up with, but you will not break up with me.
Oh. Yeah.
At the time, honestly, I was just like,
What do I say?
yeah,
Like, we just went through this whole thing. This is, yeah.
okay, sure, whatever makes sense.
Like, as long as we can be done with this scenario or whatever, fine. Or whatever you want to say.
But I look back on it and I'm just like, that is the best thing ever. Like, who says that? It's so great.
Apparently me.
It's so great.
I hope you can't see me much about this thing. I'm like an idiot.
Why? Like, that is I feel like that is the most G move. Like, because it wasn't like you were like some crazy stalker, leader, manipulator, or something like that. Someone's like, no, you're not going to
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what?
This is not how we're gonna
This
let
is
this
not
go
gonna
down.
be I'm not putting this on my resume. It's not happening like this. We are gonna mutually break up. It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be great. And we can tell the people after us.
Literally.
He didn't break up with me, I didn't break up with him. It was mutual.
It's mutual. And I think that's what we did after. It was just like, it's mutual, it's fine.
We're good.
It's okay. Yeah. Now that we've discussed our very dramatic and it was like a melodramatic.
Yeah, it's a very melodramatic. Yeah.
Situation there. What was the one thing that you can think of, like if you remember anything that you didn't like from that relationship?
I don't think there was anything that I didn't like per se. Sometimes, I think this is, just generally like getting to know somebody. And again, like we didn't know each other from school.
Right.
So like this like banter that we're having right now, if this is the banter we had in school and then, started dating, it would have been a different feeling. But it felt like there was still so much to kind of learn and distance between us that it just felt weird sometimes. Like, not weird. Like
awkward?
Yeah. And I wish it wasn't that. And I remember feeling that about like certain, like once we got into a role, we were good. But like that downtime we had, like not doing something, like an activity together or we had an event together. And that's an opportunity to learn from each other and like, just talk. But it still felt like we were still trying to reach that point, and I never felt like we got there until basically the end. Which again, it's all about time,
right?
And like putting that in.
Yeah.
So I think that was it for me. It was just like there's a lot of like weird awkward moments where fine, okay, I didn't get it. But looking back, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That does. Makes a lot of sense. And I can agree with that. At the time, because I really hadn't thought about it, just because so much stuff like that, or anything like that. But now that you brought it up, I'm like, yeah, I totally remember. Like we had a lot of those little, just like what happens now, like what say, But I also want to attribute that to a certain extent, to the fact that I hadn't dated really, like I hadn't really had a boyfriend before I dated you, and so it was like, okay, like this is not just meeting a person, but it's also learning, just in general, like how to be
either with somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that you brought up that I was your first boyfriend or like first relationship in that respect, because like I had, I think maybe 1 or 2 other girlfriends before, but they only lasted for a week. And
if we're counting those,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm back in the game.
Yeah. But so, I mean, to that point though, I mean, you were my first like real relationship in that respect. You're like, we were together for a good chunk of time. We're going with 6 months. And like I was saying earlier, like that's all about like learning how to be in a relationship together rather than being your individuals. So it makes sense why there were those moments, because we were both trying to, not only were we trying to learn about each other, but we're also trying to learn about how we manage this relationship. And you know, part of it subconsciously or subconsciously, like at some level, right? And this is kind of bearing the lead, right? Was that I was trying to confirm my own sexuality at the same time, right? So, you know, I'm sure like that had an underlying effect on how our relationship was moving forward. So,
Gotcha. Okay, well, since you kind of opened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
What is your sexuality?
I am gay.
Yes!
Gay!
Yes!
Yeah.
Can I tell you really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I want to know, number one, like I want to know more about like how I came to be.
How I was getting
How I came to be, but I will say that I remember meeting Maddie. I don't know if you remember.
Fucking sorry. Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie. I'm gonna kill Maddie.
I remember.
What did Maddie do?
I was in, I don't know what we were doing. Like I said,
Yeah. Maddie or Parham? I
think Parham might have been in the car also. We're coming from somewhere, and somehow it came up, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, Austin's gay now," and I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "No, surely you jest, sir." Yeah. And he was like, "No, yeah, it's real." And I was like, and like I said, I think it was Parham. I was in the car, like I was in, I think either the front or the back, so like the side, the passenger side, whatever side it was. And so I like looked to the other person, and I was like, and they were like, like they didn't say anything. And I was like, I don't think so. And he was like, now when you see him kiss another guy, like you know that's real. And I was like, well, I've always wanted a gay best friend. Like when are we gonna hang out?
I'm gonna go find Maddie. No, you know, and to be honest with you, I sorry that you found out that way. I would rather, you know, like I had to be in person. Well, I guess now in person. Yeah. So I'm gay. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while. Like, it's been a long journey to get to that point. But essentially, I want to say it was like third year of college. So like after we dated, I dated one other person after that, and basically it was wrestling with like the same kind of emotions. So like I built a relationship with someone that I like and that I have very strong feelings for. I enjoy, you know, hanging out with them, but at the same time, like sexually, and which kind of leads to the like first moves, right? It's just not clicking for me.
Yeah.
And so I was like wrestling, like this doesn't make sense. I'd like it to make sense, but it's not making sense. So either way, in that like third year, and this is my shameless plug for like taking a human sexuality class for everybody. But I had that class. It was a capstone, or not a capstone. It was like one of those required courses you had to take in school, right? And in it, you had to pick like whatever paper you wanted to do for your final project. And so I wanted to do like the coming out experience. So like I interviewed a bunch of people around campus. You know, some older gays, younger gays, lesbians, and just trying to understand like what their process was and do research on like what it means to come out. And that's actually the spectrum of time, right? There's the initial like, hey, I'm gay, I'm queer. And then there's that like, you know, the immediate after effect. You tell your friends, your family, you're doing kind of like this new identity, and then it's again over time you begin to reconcile that new identity with your old identity to make it exactly. So either way, long story short, wrote that paper. It was a great way for me to kind of work through my own feelings, and that's kind of when I came. Like at the very end, I remember seeing because we had to like mail our essays back to our professor. Like at the very end, I was like, you know what, I really want to thank you for the class because it helped me kind of realize and recognize that I am gay, and being able to write this paper and talk to all these folks, like, helped me work through those feelings and those emotions. So she gave me an A on the paper.
I bet. I'm like,
Yeah, I was like,
oh my god, I've changed a lot.
Yes.
My word.
Yeah. So then that's like basically it. And then from there, it was like a whole other year of trying to like come out to everybody. It was like finally getting it straight within myself. I guess that's the plan. I'm not sure.
Come over.
Where's the drum? But then it was like, okay, now I gotta go out and like tell everybody. And there's obviously like, easier folks are for the most part your closest friends, and then the harder folks. My parents were like relaxed. Like if I said it took a year, they will probably at the end of that year before I told them.
How did they take it?
My mom. So I was in the kitchen and I took like 3 shots of tequila and then like went into the room where my mom was, and I told her, and she's like, "Are you trying to tell me this?" And it was like I was really nervous. And she's like, "No. I've known, I love you. Like don't feel like you have to do that, right?"
Mm-hmm.
She knows. They do. And then my dad, not initially so well. His reaction was like, this isn't something a father wants to give to his son. Which, I didn't get kicked out. So I was like, well, this is like better than what I was gonna go for. But, it took him a night to like sleep on it and think about it. And then he came back and was like, you know what? Sorry for what I said last night. I love you no matter what. It's just really hard to think about like what life you may live in terms of like, a fear for your safety and everything else that comes along with it, right? And so I get like where he's coming from on that, but I appreciate him recognizing that and recognizing on his son, and then being exactly
With you right now,
like friends or like I
So
yeah.
the last thing that I want to do is show you.
Oh, you actually have the photos?
Well, I don't have the photos, but I have them on my computer.
Okay, yeah. You may have many others, but not today.
Not this guy.
This is mutual.
Okay.
Yeah, go inside. Yeah.
Just stop happening right now. Okay.
Oh yeah!
This came up. This is literally
Yeah!
why I was like, oh my
Also,
god.
what is going on with my beard?
It was what do you call it?
Like, was it marker or was it,
It
like
might have been marker,
like
but I
fake
think it was
mustache?
no, I think it was like eyeliner. I think that's what it was. Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. So I literally, this came up on my Facebook the other day. It was like, this is your first, was it your first tagged photo on Facebook? And I was like, seriously? Okay. Look at that. But I was like, but why? Like, what is this?
I see a palm tree in the back.
I believe this was some sort of fraternity.
Yeah, it has to be.
Hawaii theme?
Yeah,
Maybe?
luau. The only thing I can think of is that we did a luau theme party. Why we brought this thing out? I don't, because there's only two options. It's either that or this was a formal. But I don't think
that's a formal.
I would be having that like mustache thing going on for that. So yeah, someone brought this ugly ass thing, and then we decided to take a photo in it. And I don't know what's going on with my demonic eyes or why I have this like beard thing going. Yeah. I mean, at least you were like, like trying to get in here. I'm over here looking like I'm possessed.
One that
Aww.
brought back
Yeah.
that day.
This is that day though.
You're tardy for the party.
That's a very nice dress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I was just picture me in my house.
Like,
but the the smile is upside down. And I'm not even gonna lie though, I'm like, that's a handsome couple. I was like, that is a cute little couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was cute. I was like, we dressed like it worked. So that's what I remember. And I remember having a fun time there afterwards. Like we salvaged it, had some cheesecake.
I mean, I think back to earlier, right? Like we were both just like, okay, let's just figure out, let's try to make tonight work. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other part too is we were supposed to catch a bus. We were supposed to catch a party bus.
Yes!
And that was the other thing. So we ended up having to drive up there.
Alone.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah?
Christmas. Yeah. Everybody came over, you came over, and I want to say we weren't dating.
We might not have been.
No, we were just friends, and I was like, hey, I don't know what you're doing. We're having Christmas.
That
You
is
want to come over? Yeah. And you came by and you like hung out with our family. I was like, everything. My mom was like,
And there's two of these. They're just like that one.
oh yeah.
That is so funny. I totally forgot. I was like, I know that I was there. Why I was there, I guess we were dating, but that's we had already broken up at that point.
Yeah. And there's been some time like between, and you came over, you hung out, you talked to my aunt, my grandma.
I did. I sat there with your grandma and your mom came. Your mom was like the cutest little thing, and I was like, everybody was so nice, and I think it was either eggnog or it was like some sort of alcoholic beverage. I think it was eggnog.
It would have been eggnog.
Yeah, and you were like, doing the best eggnog, like have some, and I was like, okay.
Sure.
Why
Gonna hand
not?
this to me. Yeah, I'll take it.
So I was like sitting there sipping it and just talking to your family, and I was like, this is so nice that everybody was so lovely. They like all really loved each other, and I remember you guys were going to go take this picture, and I was like, I was gonna be here. And it was like, come on in, and I was just like, oh. Okay, sure.
I'll jump into the photo. Yeah.
You're saying it's okay, so sure.
We wanted to capture the moment. Everybody was there, and you were there with us.
Yeah, it was super nice. I was like, that's so sweet, because you just, it could be a weird situation, but y'all handled it with grace and calm, and it was beautiful.
Still too many people on that stuff. That's all I can.
There was a lot of people,
Funny.
but it was I was like, that's a nice night. So yeah, so those are pictures I have to show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna have like some outside the Luau one. These were good photos, but like cute photos of us.
To be fair, I was trying to find some that were like different, because I was like, I know that I've seen other ones. I was like, I know that there were other ones on here, but I don't know. I'm like, either I'm not tagging them now. Somebody deleted them. I have no idea. All right, but I love everything. We're gonna like wrap up here now.
Oh wow, that was the end.
those are all the questions that I have.
Guys, thank you for joining us today. Oh my god, I can't do it. All right. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. Damn it! Yeah, I sound like a TV news anchor. Like I don't want to sound like you're like, hey, you know what? Thanks for checking us out. I hope this conversation with me and Sierra was good. It was fun catching up. It's been a real long minute since we've actually, this has probably been the first time in 5, 7, 8, 10 years.
Yeah. Good chunk of time.
Yeah, so it's been great catching up. I hope that you guys really enjoyed the series, Life Unraveled. And so I encourage you all to subscribe, do the little things, thumbs up, and check out the rest of the series.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You said it great.